How to sell your home or apartment. My name's Alex Just and I'm the COO at RealAdvisor. Now at RealAdvisor, we've sold several hundred properties in the past, and today's video is about sharing some of the tips and tricks that we've picked up along the way to help you succeed with the sale of your property. Selling a property is a long journey and there are many stages involved. So today I'm going to take you through these stages and walk you through some of the tricks that we have for each one of them. We're going to start with relocation. Like many property owners, I'm sure you're living in the property you're looking to sell. And then you're asking yourself the question, I need to first find a new place to buy before I can start the sale process. Now the issue with this is that if you do it this way, you end up putting yourself under a lot of pressure to sell that property in a short amount of time. And you end up selling at a subpar price, or in really worst case scenarios, you end up failing with the transaction completely. To avoid this, what we suggest is starting the sales process right now under what we call a conditional sale, which means that you can sell the property on the condition that the move-out date is a period in the future. This is what we tell most of our owners to do who we've worked with, and it's worked out very well for them in the past. Now, once you've taken the decision that you want to sell now, you come to a point where you need to figure out who it is that's going to be selling the property, right? Either you do it yourself or you work with a professional. And today it's possible to do by yourself because you can advertise on many different portals, which will get you a whole bunch of interested people. And the question is, though, whether or not you're able to handle all the other steps and processes involved, or you're even aware of them. And the difference between working with a real estate professional is that they have years of experience in selling homes, much more so than you would, for example. And at the same time, when they're evaluating your property, they know exactly how to pull out the key strengths in your property in ways that you wouldn't necessarily be able to, because they're doing it with the combined market knowledge they have. And on top of all of this, it adds a lot more weight to what is being said about your property. It's like if a professional critique were to label you as the world's best chef, it would hold much more weight than if you simply claimed that title for yourself. It's exactly the same with real estate professionals. And the other thing is that they have access to tools and programs which are not made available to the general public. And these tools help them accelerate the sales process and help find the best selling price and the best buyer. All of these are reasons why we always recommend working with a carefully selected real estate professional who has plenty of experience in selling properties similar to yours. Now that you've made the right decision to work with a real estate professional, you reach the point where you need to define the price at which you want to sell your property. This is probably the biggest question mark that anyone has when selling their home. There are three types of prices. There is the asking price, which is the one that you set, that you would like to sell your property for. Then you have the buyer's prices. So the offers which are being made by potential buyers, which reflect how much they are willing to pay for your property. And then the last price is the transaction price, so the one it actually sells for. Now it's really important to understand that all three of these prices are influenced exclusively by the market. By this I mean it's outside of any of your control, because real estate prices are strongly tied to supply and demand, just like any other commodities market. So what this means is if you have a lot of houses in the market and not many buyers, the price of real estate in general will be lower. And if, however, you have lower number of houses available for sale in the market and many more buyers, the value of the real estate will be going up. And you can see this change in prices by looking at neighboring properties around you and how much they have been selling for recently. Now, when you are setting the asking price, it's extremely important that you are not too aggressive. And this is because you run the risk of what we commonly refer to in the real estate industry of grilling your property and leaving it online or available for sale for a very long period of time because the asking price is too high. So keep this in mind when setting that price. That now leaves us at the third stage, and we need to start thinking about preparing the property. So we're looking at the preparation phase. Now, if I ask you what you see when you walk down a main street and you're looking at the different shops, you see the display windows filled with neatly packaged products or services looking very tidy, and everything is being made to perfection. Why? Because they're selling something. It's exactly the same when you're selling your property. So that means you need to trim the hedges that you said you would trim but never did, mow the lawns, tidy everything up, remove the personal clutter, and allow anyone viewing the property to imagine what it would be like for them to live there as their own property. The other part of this is then taking the photos. So hiring a professional photographer, working with 3D tours, or for example, if your property is in the right location for it, considering an aerial drone footage just to bring out the best of that property and push people to come and visit. And that's the end goal with preparing your property and packaging it for online distribution. But that's not the only thing. There's other elements as well in terms of preparation, which is collecting all the documents that you need or potential buyers will need when evaluating your property and making them easily accessible so you don't lose time on this particular stage. So now we've prepared our property, we're ready to commercialize it, and we're ready to advertise it and get these people to come and visit. And there's many different ways that we can do this. So one is through the online portals, as we mentioned earlier, and another is working with a real estate professional who has typically got access to a database of potential buyers who they can market your product in a nice brochure directly to. As an example, at RealAdvisor, we have a database of over 30,000 potential buyers who we send properties to when we have them available for sale. And the last part is a little bit more technical, is search engine optimization, working with Google to help make your property stand out the most when people are searching for properties to buy in a particular market. Commercializing, the end goal is to have property viewings take place and to get people to come back and make an offer for your property, which moves us nicely into the very final stage, the most exciting one, which is the actual sale. This is a game of negotiation and communication. At RealAdvisor, we commonly refer to it as the transaction tango, simply because there's so many different stakeholders involved. You have the financing banks who will lend the money for the purchase. You have the notary, you have the buyer, then you obviously have the real estate professional, and you have to align all of these people in order to get the transaction over the line and reach the point where you're sitting in the notary's office and you're signing that document. And this is why picking the right real estate professional as your partner is so important. In particular, that the communication with them is extremely fluid and reactive. They need to be available anytime, any day, and on weekends to ensure that the buyers remain confident in the process. So once you sat at the notary, that's it. You've sold your property. And now the only thing left for you to do is to figure out which professional or real estate expert is going to help you manage your process or your sale. And if you're interested, you can click on the link below this video and schedule a call with one of our experts at any point in time.